Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg here in Las Vegas, and welcome, Hank.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How'd you do this weekend so far?
Well, it depends. Did they finish the Utah game?
I don't. Well, I had BYU and I lost, so I guess they did.
Yeah, well, I had Utah. Utah's good.
Yeah,
they got a real good power running game, and a quarterback played pretty well, but they got a power running game, and they were a much better team than Brigham Young. And I think this is like the third year in a row they beat them. They're going to be a factor, Utah. They should be ranked. It was when the Lightnings in the area delayed the game, I got nervous that they weren't going to go 55 minutes. That was my only threat.
Well, I believe they did, but I will double check it.
They finished.
Okay.
The other game last night was UCLA. That coach at UCLA is a big disappointment right now.
Oh, it sure is.
Cincinnati really beat them easily. That shouldn't be happening with UCLA's program. And he's done nothing with them.
Well, we got to move on, and we got a whole card today, tomorrow. We got baseball. We got everything. There's a lot of.
Well, baseball. I think the Mets are toast. Syndergaard and DeGrom got beat back to back. I think the Mets are finished. They're not going anywhere.
I agree. They fell apart. Their big guys just fell apart when they needed them. That wasn't very good.
No, they're not hitting. The Cubs are hanging in. St. Louis has a big game today. I think big news in NFL football is that the Dolphins and Houston are working on a trade for Clowney. And when you think about it, it makes a little bit of sense for both teams, particularly for Houston, in that Houston right now doesn't need a big-time pass rusher in their division because there aren't a lot of big-time quarterbacks in their division right now. And they need pass protection for their quarterback a little more than they need Clowney right now. So it's a matter of need. If they can get the tackle from the Dolphins, that'll help them more this year than Clowney will. And so there's a multi-team package that they're working on as of just a couple of hours ago. And if that trade comes through, Clowney will be a member of the Dolphins.
You're 100% right. The Texans really do need offensive line help, and that would be a very smart move if they could do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got some.
By the way, the coach, they don't have a general manager.
I know.
The coach is in charge. He's making the moves.
Well, I guess we'll have to see how that all works out. You and I, especially me, I guess, been very critical of Bill O'Brien for a couple of years. Let's see how that works out. But I hope he puts it together and does a good job. Well, we're ready for the regular season to start. It starts next Thursday. Green Bay is at Chicago, 3.5 point. Well, 3 or 3.5. You can have either your choice, or whether you want to take the 3.5 or lay the 3 with the Bears and Packers. That's going to be the beginning of the real season, and I'm excited for that. We got some great games. We got the Oregon at Auburn game is a big one this weekend. Everybody's talking about that. That's a Pac-12 team heading east. They're actually going to go to Texas. They're playing in Texas. They say it's a neutral site, but I think it favors a little bit of travel issues. Probably more Auburn people will be there, but that's big.
I don't know. I think a lot of people from Oregon are going to go there. Maybe not as many as Auburn, but it is a neutral field, and I think the reason that Auburn is favored is, for the reasons that you state. But this is a very good Oregon football team, and I don't underestimate it. That quarterback is really good for them, and you got a guy making his first start at quarterback for Auburn. I think that offsets the edge.
It probably does, and the thing, I think the knock on Oregon, which is the Pac-12, and it was so poor last year that a lot of people are not going to give them any credit, or as much credit as maybe they deserve as a team. However, Oregon didn't step up against big teams like this. This is a good team out of the SEC, and that might be a problem. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, I saw a stat this morning that's kind of interesting. The MAC is on a 5-0 run against the SEC, but we all know that that's a lot of underdogs covering short prices, or long prices, I should say. So it's going to be a great weekend, great day. I'm looking forward to this next 10 days to get this whole thing started and start rocking and rolling. Anything going on?
I was down at the Westgate yesterday at the end of the contest, and they were doing brisk business. So they will have sizable payoffs in their contest. Well, the competitor they have is not making a dent. I think they're trying to do a 2-for-1 now to try and get some business. Because I was talking to a guy who was in line there who worked for the other company who was playing the contest at the Westgate because he can't enter the contest at his own casino. And he said that right now they're not going to make the money they're putting up, although they guarantee the money. So you got the competing contest going on. And the first week of the NFL season has got some interesting matchups. And right now is a chance for you to take your team for the season, who you like to win it all. And I think you got the two top teams right now, or three top teams. You pointed out, I think correctly, that Philadelphia belongs in the top three. New Orleans, I think, belongs in the Rams. And on the other side, the AFC, I'll tell you, New England has a bunch of really good receivers. They'll overcome the loss of Gronk by being able to load up on wide receivers that they've signed up for this year. So they're going to score, and they've got improved defense. They're going to be tough again. That Pittsburgh-New England game in Week 1 is going to be a real good matchup.
It really is. I'm very impressed so far with what New England is doing. They might be better this year than last year. At least the way it looks so far. I like you, exactly what you said. They have made some additions and some adjustments, and they look very strong. I like that game. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. Pittsburgh is going to be good this year. I'm not going to take too much off one game, especially the first game of the year, but I do like New England this year. In that game, I'm not going to say who I like at this time, but
well, New England historically starts slow. We'll see.
They historically start slow, but they don't historically play as well as they have this year in the preseason, and that's that is a little bit of a different. Usually, Belichick doesn't put any effort at all in the preseason, and he has a little bit more this year, which is kind of surprising to me, but he has.
The Giants started their rookie quarterback last night, and he went 4 for 4 for 47 yards, and then he took him out. He's done nothing wrong this preseason. although Eli will be their starter at the beginning of the year. The Dolphins have announced that their starting quarterback will not be Rosen. It'll be the much-traveled guy.
Fitzmagic. Yeah.
And other than that, there's not a lot of startling news around. As far as injuries go, I think the injury situation is what it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott hasn't signed yet. I think Cam Newton is going to he'll be all right for that first game against the Rams, according to what I'm hearing. So it's the Elliott thing. I don't know what's about the Elliott thing. I mean, he missed the preseason, but he could come back, and maybe he'll miss a game or two in the regular season. I'm sure they're going to pay him. They always do. So, I mean, Jerry has the money, and I'm a little bit surprised it's gone this long, but we've seen it before. I mean, heck, last year we saw a couple Pittsburgh players miss a ton of time, so it does happen.
It's the Chargers situation with their running back. Nothing's moving there.
Correct. They pulled out a game last night against San Francisco, and they scored in the last 2 minutes on a drive. But then again, San Francisco wasn't they weren't playing all their starters on defense.
Neither were the Chargers. So.
Exactly.
Didn't mean anything.
It does. No, the preseason means. I mean, other than the injury things, the preseason games don't mean anything to me. But the practices, especially when they practice against other teams, I think they're more telling. And maybe we'll have less preseason games next year. Who knows? There's a lot of people saying that's going to happen. Don't know.
Minnesota had a big lead going into the fourth quarter, and they had a couple of turnovers, and they wound up losing. That's a rare event in Minnesota.
Yeah, it is. But the week before, I had Minnesota, and I won. But I felt like I was very lucky to win. They scored late, and they weren't as impressive in the last two games from a standpoint of really, going out there and trying to win to the same degree that they had in the past. Now, Baltimore, on the other hand, they continued their streak. They just they go out there to win. That's all they care about. They just want to win. And Harbaugh has got that.
Well, Minnesota did go out to win last week in the game that we both won because they scored a meaningless touchdown with only time left for 2 plays. All they had to do was run out the clock instead of throwing the ball into the end zone, which they did. And that gave them the cover.
You're
right. They were trying to run it up in that game. But yesterday, they had a big lead in the game. They were playing their usual game, and what happened was their backup quarterback fumbled deep in their own territory, gave up an easy score, and then they had a return, I think, that on a punt return or something that enabled the other side to score. Next thing you know, the game was tied, or they were within 3 points rather, and they wound up losing the game. It was a fluke.
Yeah, I guess it was. Anything going on in horses this weekend? I know the Saratoga...
2-year-old stakes.
Okay.
At both tracks. And this is an interesting time to watch the 2-year-olds because they will become, early, Derby favorites for next year.
Is this a weekend that closes both those tracks and for their meet?
Yes.
And where do they go next? What tracks come up next?
Well, in New York, they'll go to Belmont. Out west, they're going to go to for a short meet at Los Al, and Los Al got kind of shafted once again by the racing commission, and instead of giving them a 4-week meet, they only gave them 2 weeks, and they put all kinds of money into that track. It's kind of a sad deal. Los Al is always the bridesmaid when it comes to how they're thinking with California.
Wow. Well, but the horse racing just keeps biting themselves in the ass. I don't know what the heck. Something has to change there. Anything else going on that you want to cover, Hank?
Oh, I don't think so.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend. It's our last weekend without pro football, and next week is going to be very exciting. And good luck, by the way, in the contest. I know you've made a good run a couple times in that. You just joined the one contest, or did you join both of them?
I'm only going to play the one.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck. Have a good weekend. We'll talk Monday.
Thanks.
Thank you, Hank.
How could I not be loyal to Rosemary, who's been the secretary there for 50 years? She came out to see me when I was there, and the clerk said, she doesn't come out for anybody. She came out and gave me a big hug.
Well,
nice.
Hank, you've been around a while. Everybody knows who you are, and you've been a mainstay for this industry for a long, long time. And we appreciate working with you.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Jim.
Oops. Don't forget to go to our site and register for free plays each and every day. Thanks, and we'll talk to you Monday.